Yesterday, we have seen example of associative arc builder, and with that example, we have also understood what is builder and why builder, right? So we have also like developed that program from scratch, understanding meaning of each and everything that is used in that program. Also, we have seen from where all those inputs are coming from. And we have also tried to correlate all the inputs that we have configured and created that builder, created that object at the end. We have tried to map all those input parameters with the dialog arc creation dialog in NX. So that way we able to figure out what all are parameters we need to define and create the arc. So that example we took. Now, yesterday, I wanted to took another example, the journal example that we had, and we wanted to clean up that, but we haven't managed the time to do that. So we'll start from that today, and we will see one more example about the builder. So this is what's agenda for today. So before that, let's see the journal, which is the same journal which was doing the same thing. It is also creating the associative arc. I think it is creating line, not arc, but but it's fine. So we will go and have a look at that journal. I do have a plan to introduce you to Visual Studio as well today. So let's see uh, uh, how much I able to manage today. Okay, so one thing prominently you might have noticed yesterday, it's all typing. Writing a code is all typing, and we have to take care of the typing mistakes. We have to also take care of the small case of lowercase, and it is all syntax. It is not the book that we are writing. It is the code that we are writing. So we have to take care of the syntaxes as well. So this is a lot of things to be cautious about while writing a code, right? So, and though it was only few lines of code, I think it was not more than 30-40 lines of code that we have written yesterday. But as you go on, you will write more and more complex, more and more lengthy programs. So this is typing and these all things to take care. It will definitely going to be a tedious thing or annoying thing for you. So this is why the IDEs are there. Now we are talking about IDE. It is integrated development environment. It means it is the software tool that has lot of capabilities, lot of features, lot of tools that help us in development, that helps us in writing our code. So all that tedious work that you might find doing, that is made easier with the IDE. So you already have Visual Studio, I assume. If you do not, then I do have a video guide that can take you through the steps, how you can download and install, and how you can create a blank project in Visual Studio. So what I wanted to do now is, you know about this builder, right? We will work with arc builder. This is line builder. So obviously this is much more simpler than the other one because only few parameters to deal with here. So what we will do is we will first take this entire journal into a Visual Studio, and we try to clean up this journal. Clean up meaning there is lot of lines of code which is of course not that useful, and we can get rid of that. We can uh, just simply go and delete that lines of code which is not at all important here, and still we ensure that our program is creating the required object in NX. So it is creating that line without fail, and as we are expecting, the same way it is creating, that's it. So even after cleaning up the code, it shall not impact the desired outcome of the program. So this is what we are going to ensure. Before we do that, let's play this journal. I will rather go and create a blank uh, part, and we'll try to run this journal on the blank part just to ensure that it is running well and it is giving the expected outcome. Okay, so line is created, so it is working fine. Now I will get inside Visual Studio. I do have older version of Visual Studio. I'm still comfortable with this, but I guess I'm going to upgrade for myself even, because there are a lot of fancy and trending features in the latest version. I will show you those even sometime, but for now I will continue with this 2012 version that I have. Even if you do have latest one, that is perfectly fine. I will create a new project, okay, and I will also go and add the references. If you know how to create the project and add references, uh, that's very good. If you don't know, you have to go and watch the reference content that I already shared with you. Okay, so I do have added the NX open references. Now I will copy this code into a Visual Studio window as is, and you can see this code is very well settled down here. And first thing that you can notice is it is colorful. We do have different text colors here, and that different text colors denotes different things, and that makes our code much more readable for us. So this is first uh, comfort to eyes for us because of this IDE. Okay, even if you are using the latest one, the UI will be much more comfortable than this one. Okay, and the other thing you can notice is it is very well formatted. So class starts from here, then main function starts from here, and we do have the code written in the next tabs. Then we do have a bracket close here, and then this other bracket. So it is very well formatted, and this is what is the beauty of IDE. There are lot of good features that are there in IDE, and that will help you a lot while writing a code. The other thing is that uh, let's say this variable, the session. If I click on this, then I can see all the places, all the lines of code where this variable is used. All the places in the entire code I can see. So this way I easily able to understand the reference of that variable across the entire code, entire CS file that I have. This is the beauty. Now, if I missed on something, let's say I do a typo mistake here, or uppercase, lowercase error I do here. Now I did that error. Now you can see this is highlighted. What was happening in case of journal? I have to play the journal, and then after I play the journal, I get a pop-up with the error, and then I know that this is the error I have to find out. But here you get this upfront before you run it. You get to know this upfront before you run it. So, and this is same for any other error. You miss you miss the semicolon, you will get a error. If you do a typo mistake, you will get a error. if you have not declared any variable the correct way, you will get an error. For example, this mark ID1. If I comment this line, then where this variable is used, you will get an error. So this error is upfront given in IDE, and that too with the description. This is the same or similar description that we get in a journal pop-up, and the same thing we are getting here. So you are getting this upfront. So this is another beauty of this. Then let's see if I do not see that option here, but you do have in your case. I'm not sure why it is gone away. But let's say if I wanted to rename the identifier, the variable name I want to rename, I can go right click, and here you will find option to rename. And once you rename here this way, yeah, you can see it is here rename. If I do it the rename here, it will be changed in the entire program. You don't need to care about. So all the preview of the changes we can see here, and that change will happen across the entire program. You can see I changed here, but the change is also reflecting here. It means so you can. This is easy way to change the variable name. You don't, if your variable is used 10 times, 15 times in an entire code, you don't need to go to manually each and every line and do that. So this is how you can do that. This is another helpful feature. Now, the other very important, actually, the list will very long, the features and benefits of IDE. As much as I can able to recall, I will tell them, and I will go and like we will continue. I will continue talking about these benefits and these features of IDE. If I missed out any now, we are anyway going to use Visual Studio here onwards, and if any I missed out today, I will tell you in the future lessons when we use Visual Studio for writing our code. The other a very important feature is object browser. So object browser is more or less the exact replica of your API guide. If I go to here, view, and other windows, object browser, web browser. I want object browser. Yeah, here it is. Okay, object browser. So if I open object browser, it opens another tab. Now you see we do have our code here, class1.cs. This is one of the tab, and object browser is another tab. Now all of the references. So this is solution explorer uh, tile. I can pin this tile even. Now here we do have references added, and all of these references, few of them are system related, few of them are NX open. So whatever references I have added, I can see the API's information of all those references in the object browser. So I can navigate to, let's say, NX open. I can expand this. Now you can see more or less this is replica of what we can see inside the API reference guide. Let's say I wanted to see any API in ARC class. I can refer this. I want to see any API in ARC collection class. I can refer this. So this way, you don't need to go to API reference guide, because these DLLs you have added into your program, and those DLLs do have all this information available with them. And then that's how you able to navigate through different classes, namespaces, APIs, API members through the object browser. But I recommend you continue using API guide for entire 1 month. Once you get comfortable with that, then This is a shortcut. Object browser is a shortcut that you can use. But before you get into this, you first master using the API reference there. This is another beautiful feature of this. And what else? Yeah, so there are a lot of features. Debug is very important feature. I am just telling you the debug right now. But maybe we'll debug this later today as well. Let's see the possibility. Debug means it gives us an opportunity to run the code line by line. What we do when we play the journal in NX, it simply plays from line 1 to line the last line without stop, without a pause. But if I wanted to see something, what's happening in between, I wanted to know about the variable, what value is assigned to that variable, whether that variable is correct or not. So all that kind of things we need to do. So debugging is a very important process when we are writing the code from scratch and we are testing our code and checking whether it is working well. So that time debug is very important, and debug allows us to go line by line, goes to, run the code line by line, and it pauses on each line when we debug it. So it's possible to take a pause at certain lines or even pause at every line. So that is the capability of debug, and it is very useful to make sure that your code is working and how it is working. To understand that even while learning, that debugging will help you a lot. So that I will tell you maybe if we got a time today, that I will tell you. Now let's get back to the topic. Now what I wanted to do with this journal now, I want to do a cleanup. So what I will do is I will start with the mark IDs. All of these mark IDs, I don't need them because those are just not that useful uh, as far as the scope of this program is concerned, not that useful. So I will just go and delete that. I can either go and delete that or I can directly comment them. So commenting is recommended for you guys, because if you by mistake delete any important line, you might struggle a lot, or you might spend a lot of time to uh, get back into the right shape of your program. Okay, so when you're doing cleanup yourself, I recommend you comment it. But right now, I will go and directly delete the unexpected, the non-necessary lines. So mark ID, I will start with first. I will delete this. Now you can see because of I deleted that mark ID, I got two errors, and I can even go and locate that very easily. Here, so this is so I don't need this line even. I will delete this. I will delete the other one as well. This one. Now you can see, and let me check if I can see the line numbers. View line number. I don't see that but it is possible to enable line number. I don't know how to enable that. If I found it quickly, it's fine. Otherwise, we'll move on. Okay, I think it will kill our time. Okay, so I wanted to check how many numbers of line we are reducing, but fine. We don't compare the numbers. So mark ID 1 I have deleted. Now I will go and find out the other mark IDs. Mark ID 2. I will even go and delete this. So this is used in these three lines. I will go and delete this. I will also go and delete the mark ID 3. this line as well, which has mark IDs we used. So all mark IDs are deleted now. Now this is associative line builder, and there are, you can see some expressions as well. Expressions are there. This one, expression 1 and expression 2. I don't need these two expressions. I even don't need the units. But let's start with expressions only. I will go and delete the expressions. And this here as well, where expression is used, I don't need these lines. Try catch lines. I don't need this. I will simply go and delete this entire stuff. Okay, cleaned up the code now. Now, is there anything which is not necessary? I think unit is not necessary, but I'm not sure. So what I will do is I will comment this because I may need this in future. So I will just comment this. Now you can see these all options. These are nothing but the parameters of this builder, and which are either defined values or specified the type of those. So I will go and keep all of these. I will keep them as is. I will not touch upon them. But if there are any duplicates, I will definitely go and try to delete that. You can see we have start option, start point option here. I see the same thing is here. It is associative line builder 1 dot start option, start point option. So it is duplicate in a way, but here the start option is inferred and here it is a point. So some difference is there, so I will keep that. Fine, I will keep that. I can delete these commented lines as well. Now what else I can delete? I think it is fine. There is some risk by deleting this, so I will keep it as is. Now I will recall the steps of writing a builder. So how we write builder is the first line itself is declaring the variable for the output object. Associative line is output object. Step 1 is declaring the variable for that. Step 2 is declaring the variable for builder. Step 3 is assigning the object into the builder, the output object into the builder. So create associative line is a API, and we do have added that object here in this create a builder API. So this is step number 3. Then step number 4 is defining and assigning the respective values to the required parameters for that object to create successfully, get that created successfully. So not just this, but this is also comes into that step number 4. Now after all the desired inputs are created, we go and commit the builder and we go and destroy the builder, right? So this is step number 4. Committing step number 5 and destroying is step number 6. So this is the steps for creating a builder. Now I do have done some cleanup. Now what I will do is I will copy this code. We'll get into NX and we will go and try to run this. And what we have to do is, why we are doing this, we have to check whether even after cleaning, whether we do have the same output from this journal. So we'll play this journal now. It has played successfully, and we can see the other line in the feature in the part navigator. It means it is still working fine. Now I can go and try deleting few more lines. But before that, I do wanted to clear off my confusion. I can see that there are few repetitive lines when it comes to the builder parameters. But which one is correct, which one I have to keep, I am not sure about. So let me see if I get some hint related to that, so that I can go and delete few of those lines as well. So I will right click here. I will go and edit this one. Start point is point. Sorry, start option is point, and end option is along XC. Then selected point, we do have one point which is selected. Then pen option is automatic. Limit, we do have given a distance, and that's it. So these parameters we have defined. Now based on these parameters we have defined, I can go and delete which is not covered in this window. So these are the inputs which are used to create the line that I'm sure about. Now, if there are any line of code that I found which is not relevant for these inputs, I can simply go and delete that and try cleaning up my code further. Okay, so let's do that now. So start option is point. Okay, and I don't need this then, right? Start option inferred, I don't need this then. I can go and let's say comment it, because if you delete it, it will be difficult to regain the same code. So I have deleted this start option, or commented rather. Then I will go and comment this one as well. It is not required. Now right hand side, I need this end limit. Start limit is already 0 as per that. So you can see this is duplicate. So I can go and comment this line even. Start angle, end angle is 0, fine. But is there any duplicate? No duplicate, so it's fine. Endpoint option, here it is duplicate, right? So I can go and comment this. I can go and comment this. Limit option is value. Limit option is value. Limit option is at point. So which one is right? I need to go and check in NX. Limit option at point, sorry. Limit option for end limit, limit option value. So let's check that. End limit value. Yes. So this is what it is. So I will keep the value related line. Limit option, end limit value I will keep. If it is at point, I will go and comment that. Limit option. So I will go and delete, comment this one as well. End limit distance right hand side. This is 116. So this is other value, and what we see on that dialog, it is 96. So I can either keep this one or keep this one, whichever I feel I want, I can keep that. So let's say I will keep 116 and will comment this out. Okay, so we have managed to comment or clean up few more lines of code this way. Now what logic we have used? Our understanding about creating that feature in NX. So with that logic, we managed to clean up few lines of code, few more lines of code. Now I will copy this code and in NX I will go and paste it and play it. Hopefully it will work. Yes, it has worked. It means I successfully clean up few more lines of code. So this is how you can go and uh, play with the recorded journal. So it is we have taken reference as a recorded journal, but let's say if you come across the code which is written by someone else, maybe you have come across the code which you got from internet. That time, this is how you can go and decode and understand from that code, right? So cleanup may not you will do if you found some code from internet, but this logic or this way, this method will help you understand the sequence of the steps those are done in that script, in that code, and you will able to understand the meaning of that. So this is how you can go and read the code basically. But for the cleanup part, what we have done, we have first found out the the variables which seems not relevant. We have cleaned that, and we see that there are some duplicates which look very similar. But yeah, we also wanted to ensure that our code is working. So we have tried to understand that parameters, that duplicate lines of code with this dialog, uh, line creation dialog, and with this help of this, we managed to clean up further lines of code. So this is how we managed. Now I will show you how you debug. We'll start with the other object builder, maybe extrude builder tomorrow, uh, with fresh mind, with fresh uh, mind and fresh time. But as we are continuing with this topic for now, let's continue this and try to debug this now. So this will help you understand more about the execution of the code and also about the builder as well. So let's see, let's try to debug it. Now we'll go to Visual Studio. So we have just created a template. We added the code. When we copied the code into the journal, we managed to run that code successfully. So everything is fine now. Now I want to debug it because I want to show you how you can execute the code line by line and see what is happening at each line there. So to do that, debug is going to be useful. Now, still this point, we haven't saved the code yet. So we have to save it. So in Visual Studio, we do have two options: save a file or save all. What is the meaning of save all? Maybe there could be more CS files or other files added as a reference to this project. So we always use save all, and then this can pop up for you. This can pop up for you, and here what you will do is uh, you will define the location, and you will also give the project name, and you will save this. So make sure that this is ticked, create directory for a solution, because then a folder will be created and all the associated files will be kept inside that folder. Also remember, if you do have only CS file, you won't be able to debug it. You have to have it as a part of project. So when I started, I have used this file new project. So if you go file and new file, it's not going to work. So you have to always use the new project and always use the project that I have shown you. So you have to create a class library. So I do have I do have class library project which is saved. Now I have to compile this code before I run it. Compilation means it is another form of error checking. So it also confirms that there are no errors and this code is ready to be uh, executed. So how to compile this is using this build option. So I will go and build the project. Build means it is not just going to compile this code, but if there are no errors, it is also going to create the DLL. So it also creates a DLL, and as this is a class library project, we are going to execute the DLL file. Now, how we can locate that DLL file is we need to right click to the solution uh, to the project in a solution explorer, and I can go to Open File Explorer. Now, in a File Explorer tab, we get to the relevant folder location, and you can see this is a file structure. This is a SLN file, which is a solution file or a project file, we say. And inside this folder, inside bin, inside debug, we get this DLL. We do have other DLLs as well, which we have used as a reference. But this is the name of the project. It means it is the DLL that we have to use to execute our project. Okay, now I got the DLL as well. I will copy the path of DLL and I will come back to Visual Studio. Now the DLL is created. The very first step is done, because without DLL we cannot execute the code from Visual Studio. I can always copy this entire code, paste into the journal file and play it. That is simplest form of playing the code or running the code. But if I want to play the code from Visual Studio, I have to first have a DLL. There are other ways as well, but we'll stick to this one method for now. So first step is done, DLL is created. The other step is I want to debug this line by line. So I have to first define the breakpoint. Breakpoint means where my code is going to take a pause. So I have to define that. And what I will do is I will place my breakpoint here. So you see this gray line just after your code window. Here you can go and put your cursor and click. So if you click it, this red dot will appear. And this means that your code is going to take a pause and at this line when you debug it. So we had the debugger point as well. This is what is called debugger point. So debugging. So we are taking our, this is the breakpoint and our code is going to take a pause here. So that step is also done. Now next step is, as this is the external application, this Visual Studio is external application. When we are running a journal, it runs within the same process, the NX process itself. But when we are executing DL, it is actually different process that we are running inside NX. So we don't need to build the relation between Visual Studio and NX as such to execute the DLL, but to debug the program, we need to do that. So how we do that, like establishing the relation between our code and the NX is, we have to go to tools, attach to process. This might be available somewhere else if you are using your Visual Studio, but the shortcut is Control Alt P. You can even use this shortcut. Shortcut remains the same. And this attach to process window will pop up. And here what I have to search for, UGRAF. So UGRAF is a NX process. So I have to attach my code, my Visual Studio code to this process. So this is the next step, attach to process. Now once it is attached to process, you can see this orange bar on the bottom. It means that it is attached to process. Your code is attached to process, and you can see, you won't see a play button. The similar button we do have on a journal, you won't see that because this is already now attached, and it means it is in running mode. but the only thing is that we need to trigger that from NX, but it is already running. Okay, so that's done. Now the next step is to go into NX and trigger the execution of this DLL. So I can get into NX, then I can get into File, Execute, and then NX Open. I can even use shortcut Control U. So once I get here, I can go and paste the file path or navigate from this uh, file browse dialog to the DLL file, because I have to navigate to the DLL file of the project that we have built, and this is how we can trigger the execution of our program. So I have executed that DLL, the same DLL for which I do have a program. Okay, now I am coming back to the Visual Studio. Now you can see I have executed the program, and the program is now taking a halt at this line. And this yellow means this program is executing, but this program has taken a pause here. Now I am into debug mode, and now I can debug my entire code line by line. Now, before I go and do that, I will repeat the steps that I have done. First step is, once you have a code, you will go to build, and you will either rebuild it or you will build it. Rebuild means clean up, and building. Build means it is just build. So it is actually compilation is happening. So your code is compiled and DLL is created. So this is step number one. You build your code. Then step number two is you attach it to process. Then step number three is you go to the process is UGRF. You attach it to process UGRF via these tools and attach to process. The step number three is you go into NX and execute that DLL. Execute the DLL of this project. But before that, you have to make sure that you do have a breakpoint somewhere in your code. So this is the step. So we are at this step now, and we are already entered into debug mode. So we are into debug mode now. You can see these options that we have: step into, step over, and step out. Actually, there is meaning to this, but we will simply go and use step into. So the shortcut for that is F8. In your case, if you are using other version, it will be F11. Okay, so now what I can do is either I can press F8 and go line by line. So this is very important. This will help me go line by line, execute my code line by line. So I will go and execute it line by line. I am pressing F8, so I move to the next line. Now I again press F8, so I move to the next line. Now we do have this origin variable, right? And you can see if I put my cursor here, I can see more information about that variable. So this is the beauty of debugging. I am able to pause my code in between, and I am able to see the status of my variable. I can see that I do have these many parameters x, y, z to this origin variable. The same with the other variables, this one as well. You can see by default, normal one is 000. But you can see here it is 001. But we are yet to execute this code. That's why with this line, that's why we can see it is default 000. But once I execute this line and put my cursor here, I can see it is 001. So the value is assigned now. So value is assigned. Now the builder is already in place. If I wanted to see the builder variable, I can get this. I can put my cursor here, I can expand this, and I can get more information about the parameters of the builder, parameters of this builder. Okay, everything it is very well we can see here. It is very detailed actually, but this helps you to see what is happening when you are running this code. So I will go line by line, line by line, line by line. Here as well, this is datum coordinate system. So you can see this is datum coordinate system object, and this object has some parameters here. Its feature type is given, its algorithm works. So there are some parameters which are very coding related, and you might not able to understand them fully. But the point is that we do get the lot of information about that objects, that variables when we debug it. And if our program is producing some error in a space at a specific line, so debugging helps us find out that line and find out why the error on that particular line. Okay, so all of that can happen with debug. We'll continue debugging, and yeah, so we are done with the commit. Now I wanted to tell you about commit. So when we commit it, this object is got assigned to this object, nx object one. Actually, commit returns the the value of the object. So it is associative line. If I see here, I can see it is a line, and this line we do have some information about that line. Its type even it is very well defined here. So we get lot of information about all the objects with the debugging. And now this is the end of code. That's it. It's done. And you can see in NX now we do have the other object created. The same line, same parameters, but the third object you can see in the part navigator. It means though we have debugged it, but still we able to understand what's happening at each line, and also the output is same, line is created. So this is about the debug, and this is all about using Visual Studio and the benefits of using Visual Studio. Now that's it for today. We will continue with the builder. We'll take a couple of more examples about builder tomorrow, and we'll move to the next topic.